Hello and good evening, friends. This is going to be a surgery lecture on the topic of lower UTI, that is cystitis. Lower UTI and cystitis are fairly common in females. What are the predisposing factors? We will be talking of it immediately within 2 minutes. But lower UTI means urinary urgency, urinary frequency, dysuria, suprapubic pain, sometimes suprapubic discomfort, and cloudy and offensive urine. These symptoms, the moment we see all these things, it should come to our mind that this can be a case of lower urinary tract infection. Now, this lower UTI can be even seen in some healthy women, especially after intercourse, without any demonstrable abnormality of the urinary tract. Repeated attacks of UTI in case of female, or a single attack in a man or child of either sex should always be followed by battery of investigations to find out the exact cause. So many times we can find a cause and then we are able to treat it accordingly, but in at least 5 to 10% of the cases we don't get any cause in spite of applying all kinds of investigations, and these cases pose a challenge for the practitioner to treat. Now, what are the predisposing causes for lower UTI? So we all know it is incomplete bladder emptying. All the causes of bladder outflow obstruction, in short we call it as BOO. All these causes of incomplete bladder emptying can be a cause of bladder infection. Now, it can be prostatic obstruction in the form of benign prostatic hypertrophy, it can be prostatic malignancy, it can be urethral stricture, it can be bladder diverticulum, neurogenic bladder dysfunction, meatal stenosis, or it can be decompensation of detrusor musculature. Whatever may be the cause, if the bladder is not getting completely evacuated every time the patient goes for micturition, it makes the patient prone for lower urinary tract infection. Then there can be a presence of neoplasia. It can be benign neoplasm, malignant neoplasia. It can be a foreign body. The most common foreign body we know, when you talk of most common foreign body in bladder, we know it is nothing but a tip of Foley's catheter. That can also predispose the patient for cystitis. And the third cause is bladder calculus. Incomplete emptying of the upper urinary tract by the dilatation of ureters associated with pregnancy or any other pelvic malignancy. That can be one more cause. Vesico-ureteric reflux is one more cause. Operation can be done for the patients if it is unilateral reflux. However, so many times it is bilateral reflux, and therefore complete treatment is not possible. Then there can be lowered local immunity associated with estrogen deficiency. This is again more common cause in females. And one more common cause is because the space between the urethral orifice and the anal orifice in females is shorter. There is always a chance that the E. coli present in the fecal flora will get contaminated with the urinary tract and will cause infection. So gram-negative E. coli infection is fairly common. Wherefrom this infection can come otherwise also. So we know it can be ascending infection. So ascending infection going from external urethral orifice, it goes up in the urethra and then it will infect the urinary bladder. That is ascending infection. It can be descending infection also. So it can come from the kidney. It can be hematogenous infection also. Hematogenous infection means it will come via bloodstream, and it can be infection of the surrounding area which can cause infection of the urinary tract. So ascending route, descending route, hematogenous route, the infection coming from adjoining structures, and the last but not the least is lymphogenous route of infection are the common ways in which lower UTI can occur. Now, what are the most common bacteria responsible for lower UTI? We have already talked of E. coli. Escherichia coli is the commonest organism. Why? Because it is the bacteria which is present in fecal flora. However, there are other bacteria like Proteus mirabilis, Staphylococci, Streptococci, which can cause infection. There are other infection producing bacteria like Klebsiella, Staphylococcus aureus, various kinds of Streptococci, and sometimes even tuberculosis infection can occur. However, this tuberculosis infection it presents as a chronic infection, chronic inflammation. Acute infection, when you talk of, the most common cause is E. coli, Staphylococci. Now, presence of pus is called as pyuria. Clinical features of lower UTI, one of the most important feature is pyuria. When you talk of microscopically, now clinical features of lower UTI, we have already talked of urinary urgency, urinary frequency, dysuria, hematuria, and one we talked before 1 minute, that is pyuria. Now, urinary urgency is a thing where the patient cannot wait. The moment the patient feels like going for micturition, he has to attend the nature's call. Urinary frequency means the number of times the patient has to attend the lavatory is more. The patient has to go for urination again and again. And urinary urgency, frequency, and dysuria. Dysuria is scalding micturition. Now, this pain, suprapubic discomfort can vary. It can be mild or it can be severe. It can be mild, moderate, or severe. And sometimes it will get referred to the tip of penis or labia majora in case of females, or even the perineum. Hematuria is presence of RBCs in urine. This hematuria can be microscopic, where you can find RBCs only on microscopy, or it can be gross hematuria, macroscopic hematuria, which you can find even on gross examination. And pyuria. One sec. Now, this the patients of lower urinary tract infection, when you examine these people, you will find that these patients have tenderness of the suprapubic region. Now, ideally, we should do investigations in the form of urine routine, urine culture and sensitivity, CBC, sugar, serum creatinine, etc. Sometimes you need sonography of the abdomen and pelvis also. For urine routine and for urine culture and sensitivity, the ideal sample is always midstream urine sample. How do we treat lower UTI and cystitis? The treatment, there are some general guidelines for the treatment of cystitis. Treatment should be started at the earliest, and we should not wait for the bacteriological report to arrive. It can be started with the help of a broad spectrum antibiotic. Urine, if at all we are sending it for culture and sensitivity, you always have to do culture sensitivity report before giving the first dose of antibiotic, because after giving antibiotic shot, the chances are always there that the urine culture and sensitivity report will get modified. Appropriate first line antibiotics include sulfa drugs, amoxicillin, clavulanic acid, or nowadays more commonly used are quinolones. Quinolones are levofloxacin, ofloxacin, sparfloxacin, etc. Now, sometimes the people fail to respond to this antibiotic therapy, and then we have to investigate them thoroughly. Of course, we are going to talk of homeopathic management also. Homeopathic therapeutics of lower UTI and cystitis will be dealt in the further lecture. If you are having any doubts, you can please let me know either on group or maybe personally. and whatever topics you want me to explain, you can please tell me. We can do it that way. Thank you.